everybody, welcome back to AABTV, also known as Authentically RGBTV, where we just live life authentically the way that we are intended to be. So I am back for another recap of my favorite TV show of all time. Yes, I said it, of all time, Abbott Elementary, and this is episode 20 of season 2, and the name of this episode is Educator of the Year. So welcome. Let's get into the recap. Okay, so y'all, the episode opens up as it always does in the teacher's lounge, and we see Melissa. She seems like a little bit cranky, a little bit uptight, and we find out that she just pretty much ticked off because somebody in their group chat has a Android, and then Janine is there, Jacob is there, Greg is there, and they're like, Janine is like, y'all got a group chat? And Melissa just goes on and on about this green bubble, and we find out that Jacob got a new phone and it's an Android, and he doesn't care about this iPhone versus Android debate. But everybody that has an iPhone seems to be so upset whenever they see those green bubbles come across. So Melissa just took his phone and threw it, and was just like, look, get the blue bubble back. Like, I'm tired of this. I can't even respond to you. And my question to y'all is, are you team Android or are you team iPhone? I particularly am team Android. I've had an Android for most of the time that I've had a cell phone. I did have like the iPhone 4, 5, whatever it was. But anyways, I'm team Android. Sometimes I want to be team iPhone, but I mean, a phone is a phone is a phone. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so while everybody is in the teacher's lounge, Ava comes in with yet another camera crew, and everybody's like, another camera crew? Like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? And so she lets them know that they are there for a special announcement. And what is that announcement, you ask? The announcement is that they are going to be giving away this prestigious award of Educator of the Year. And lo and behold, the award for Educator of the Year is going to none other than Gregory Eddy. Mr. Greggs, let's clap it up for him. Let's clap it up. So he's surprised, everybody's surprised, and he's just like, what? And so they make this whole to-do about it, but the whole time he's kind of like, me? Of all people? Like, I haven't even been a teacher full-time that long. Like, I don't feel like I deserve it. I don't understand why y'all giving me all this attention. It makes me feel awkward. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And the whole time, nobody's really paying attention to it. They're just like, you won the award. You should be happy about it. Like, we're doing this for you, so get happy. In the meantime, Janine's in her classroom with her student. She is having a problem with the student, Deshaun, who's being disruptive. He's getting smart. He's like just basically making, her teaching a lesson or just her trying to keep, the class in order difficult. And so instead of having this teacher conference with his parent next week, I believe she said, she asked Ava for permission to have it done like ASAP because he's just becoming so disruptive that she just can't handle it, and she's trying to get on board with his mom to figure out what they can do to make sure that this student Deshaun is successful. So Ava gives her the okay. She's like, yeah, that's fine with me. Do what you gotta do. All the while Ava is running with the camera crew trying to get everything set up for Greg. And again, the camera crew is following him around, and the woman who is like basically like the producer, the director, whatever, with this camera crew, she wants to be so culturally like inclusive. She wants to make sure that they recognize every single race, every single thing that they do. She wants it to look a certain way. She wants to just put on earth because it's going to be, televised. And so she wants everything to be so perfect. She wants behind the scene footage of him with the students. She's been following him around. Again, he's uncomfortable with it. Like, they're in the classroom. She's trying to tell him to like stop and redo certain things that he does because it doesn't seem natural. And he's like, look, I didn't sign up for all of this. Like, y'all can go. So they eventually do leave out of his classroom because he's like, again, he doesn't, like you said, he don't want all the attention to him. So then Barbara gets a letter handed to her from Ava as well during the midst of the morning. And it is basically a letter to let her know that she is going to lose her teacher certification if she does not complete this continuing education class. Now, for a lot of teachers or instructional assistants like myself, like we all know, like professional development hours are something big, and basically like for certified teachers, like continuing education classes, like Barbara said, is just proving to them or sitting in front of a computer or going, to a meeting or whatever to prove that you still are capable of teaching. And she's only missing one class. And so she's like, are you serious? Like, I'm pretty sure I did all of them. And then Ava was like, well, no, they said you didn't. So unless you don't want to teach no more, you want to be out on the street and you want to be homeless and you want to be broke and you want to be unemployed, you better get on this class. And so she's just like, and we all know Barbara is not tech savvy at all. So she later on in the episode decides to ask Jacob for help, and he's just like super excited about it because he's just like, you need my help? Like, yes, what is it? We all know he's so extra. And so she needs help with him picking out the actual class that she wants to attend. We all know that working the school system, there's tons and tons and tons of like continuing education courses, some that are required, some that you can just pick for yourself that may sound interesting to you. So he goes through all of these crazy type of acronyms, and they pick one, which she's going to be doing a like intergenerational type of class where she's learning how to like all the generations from school age kids and her age and all this stuff, how they can all mix and mingle and in the classroom and make things better for everybody else. So she's happy about that. This mother was so rude. She came in, y'all, with just the most like stuck up, like nastiest attitude I've ever seen in my life. Like, and that's why I love this show so much, because they keep it so real when it comes to depicting how some teachers are treated by parents or co-workers or the board and stuff like that. And this was like an awesome scene in exchange, because like I said, the mama, she came in there and she was already like pissed off because she's missing work. She had to have somebody cover for her. Then on top of that, she was looking at Janine like, you basically wasting my time because my son's 7. Like, why can't you control him? And it was very much giving off like, when he's with you, he's your problem. When he's at home with me, he's mine. So this was like, oh my gosh, there are so many parents out there like that. I don't care how old their child is in the school system, there are so many parents like that. And I understand, like, you may be a single mama or a single father or a grandparent, auntie, uncle, whatever, raising the kids, and you can't miss work. But at the same time, this is all for the betterment of your child and to have success in school. And so when she was just coming at Janine, and Janine was just like, I'm just here trying to come up with a solution. I'm here to work together. We are a team. She told her flat out, we ain't no team. Like, you can't handle my son. Like, she kept on saying, he's 7 years old. You can't handle my son. Well, that means that he don't, basically, like, he got the worst teacher. And you don't know what you're doing, and you wasted my time, and I shouldn't be here for this. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with me. And Janine's mouth was just like, and my mouth on the other side of the screen was like, because I'm like, what you not gonna do is come for my girl. What you not gonna do is come for Janine and the way that she loves on these kids. And again, she's always trying to find a solution. She's always trying to find a way to fix the situation, because she feels like that is who she is. That's what she does best. And for the mama to just come off just so mean and nasty, I was just like, woo, little do y'all know, like, it gets really real. These is just actors, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, I love this show so much because they keep it all the way real. So of course, after that exchange, like, Janine was just like super upset. So, but when all that was going on, Greg was in his classroom, like I said, before he kicked out the camera crew. He finds out as he's walking down the hallway, he finds out that there's going to be a ceremony for him. And when he heard that, he was like, excuse me, a ceremony? And the lady that was with the camera crew was just basically like, yeah, we're going to set it up. We're going to have one of your teachers present you with the award. And the whole time they're standing outside of Melissa's class. Now, remember, I told y'all that she was like super, super stressed in the beginning. And she was talking about how, you know, she has the second and the third grade classes and she had the grade papers and all of that. And we see as Greg and the lady is talking to each other, we see Melissa and all the kids are surrounding her desk. She seems super overwhelmed and stressed out or whatever, but she overhears the conversation. And when Greg asks, like, okay, so who's the teacher that's going to be presenting me with the award? And they say Melissa Schminty. And she looks over, she's like, excuse me, say what now? And even Greg was like, are you sure there's nobody else that can do it? Like, I don't even want all this attention on me. And they was like, no, you know, basically, like, we want a white woman to present the black man with the award to make it look good. In her own way, that's what they said. But Ava came and basically broke it down like I just did. Again, the lady's just all for appearance, all for show. Just basically, like I said, just performative all throughout this whole ordeal with the Educator of the Year award. And so Melissa agrees, and she just decides that she'll come up with some type of speech for her and Greg. And let's not forget to mention my girl Ashley, the teacher's aide that was supposed to be working with Melissa. Like, she's back. She said that she was nominated and won for the teacher aide of the year. Even though she's been still getting tossed from school to school to school to school, she won teacher's aide. So she was like super excited and, you know, coming to Greg like, we won. Like, that's so dope. Youngest in charge. We won. And he's just like, yeah, I mean, you're super excited, but I'm really not, because this is all a little bit too much for me. So, as he's walking down the hallway, he hears like little sniffles, and he's like, where's that coming from? He realizes that it's Janine, and she's walking around her classroom trying to hide, but she can't hide. And the cameras are there, and they have this conversation, and he's like basically asking her, what's wrong with you? Like, what happened? She tells him about the conversation she had with Deshaun's mom and the things that she said to her, and how it basically broke her. It hurt her feelings. It made her feel like the worst person in the world, the worst teacher in the world. And he had his moment where he was able to encourage her. He was able to uplift her. And all the while, everybody is still getting ready to give him this award and getting ready for this ceremony. And even before that, he saw all of the things going on in the auditorium, like the pictures that they had up of him, the kids learning a song about him, writing poems about him, the lasers and the balloons. And he's just like, this is all too much. Like, I don't feel like I deserve this. And he just kept saying that all throughout the episode. Like, I don't feel like this is for me. I don't feel like this is for me. And so after he talks with the Janine, he ends up taking her to go to Barbara's classroom so that they can talk to her and encourage her some more. And Barb is all for that. And because she is like the matriarch of the school teachers, and she's been there so long, and she's got a lot of wisdom to share, she was a perfect person for him to bring Janine to. And so while they are having their discussion, he's like, look, I'm going to go to my classroom. And when he said it, I was like, he's supposed to be going to the ceremony, because they would have made the announcement that it was going on. So he's hiding off in his classroom. Meanwhile, Barbara is talking to Janine, and she lets her know everything that Deshaun's mom said to her as well. And she basically just spoke life into her, like a lot of times that she always does. She let Janine know, like, hey, do you believe that about yourself? And Janine told her, like, I couldn't fix this. I'm always needing a resolution. I'm always trying to come up with the solution, and I couldn't fix this. So when I can't fix something, I feel like a failure. And she was telling her, like, you're not a failure. Every day that you wake up and you don't give up on yourself, and you come into work and you don't give up on your students, even though they are difficult and challenging and all of that stuff, like, every day that you come in here and you don't give up, you are a success. Like, you're not a failure. You're a great teacher. You're a great person. You care about those kids. students. Like, don't let basically what she said affect you, because you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have good students, you're gonna have challenging students, but at the end of the day, as long as you continue to show up, like, you're gonna be good. And that again is wisdom that we all needed to hear, no matter if we teachers or not. And Janine just basically told her, like, I feel like I've never seen you fail. I feel like you always have a solution. You always have answers. And she told her, over the years, you haven't seen the things that I may have encountered, but at the end of the day, like, I brush it off and I keep coming back and I learn from it and I grow from it, and that's what it is. And just encouragement all throughout this entire episode, and I just loved it. And before Greg gets to the ceremony, Melissa is looking for him, and he is hiding off in his classroom, as I said before. And she's like, why are you in here? Like, the ceremony is going on. I got a speech to give about you, to introduce you to everybody and present you this award that you had in your classroom. And he tells her as well, I don't feel like I deserve this. I feel like Janine deserves it, or you, or Barb. And, I feel like, I'm not equipped enough to do the thing, like, to basically be considered Educator of the Year. And so Melissa decides to encourage him as well. And I was like, y'all better do that. Y'all better have each other's back and speak life into each other. And he's just basically like, I don't deserve it. And she tells him, like, I see you get better every single week. I see you coming here every single week. I see you care about these kids. I see you challenge the kids. I see you learning and growing each and every day. And so trust me when I say you do deserve this. Even though you may feel like this is coming a little bit too early, like, look at it as, you getting the Educator of the Year award early on in the game. I'm sorry. And he took it as, like, Rookie of the Year award, and told her, like basically thanked her for helping him to see it from a different view, because he just felt like he had to be this perfect teacher who just, did everything right. And he, like I said in the beginning of the video, like, wasn't even a full-time teacher for a long time. But again, like she said, you come in here, you work your butt off, you do what you're supposed to do, and just allow people to acknowledge that. Allow people, even like Barbara said, allow people to give you your flowers. People gonna talk about you. People gonna throw dirt on your name. But when you are acknowledged for something good, like, receive that. Like, receive it and walk in it. Be humble about it. But don't feel like you don't deserve it. Understand that, this is your moment. So walk in it. And I was like, oh, if she is not preaching, and Barbara and Melissa was not preaching throughout this entire episode. And I was like, yeah, that would have made me feel 1,000 times better as well. And it did make me feel 1,000 times better, because how many of us just go through life and we do stuff and we, like, minimize ourselves, and we don't really like the attention on us, or we don't like when people, like, give us our flowers, because we feel like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But we're so quick to give everybody else their flowers and big them up. We need to be able to take it on and know that, we have moments too. So when we do something big, to acknowledge it. And it's not being conceited, it's not being cocky, it's just recognizing your greatness. And a lot of us need to learn how to do that a lot more than we do. So after that, Greg walks into the ceremony. He receives his award. He accepts the award, but he also dedicated the award to the teachers of Abbott Elementary, because of how he sees their dedication, how he sees them just striving for greatness and pouring into the kids and coming in, and they're a family and they have each other's back. And he dedicated it to them because he wouldn't be able to be the Rookie of the Year or the Educator of the Year without them. And I thought that was so freaking sweet, and it meant a lot to him, and it meant a lot to the other teachers as well. So to sum it all up, y'all, after the ceremony, we see Janine and Greg walking down the hallway and talking about the award and how cheap it looked and all that other stuff. So as they walk past Ava and Melissa decide to mock them and, you know, do all this lovebird, lovey-dovey stuff, like goofy stuff. And I was just like, everybody knows they really like each other, and I just love it. Like, they need to walk in that too. They need to walk in the love that they got for each other, because they're very cute. And they not hiding it at all. It's very, very, very evident. So, after the ceremony and all that stuff, Barbara's in her classroom, and she's finally ready to take this continual education class that Jacob set her up for. He signed her on to the Zoom, you know how it goes. And to her surprise, Mr. Johnson is the teacher for the intergenerational class. And he's just talking in all type of slang, all type of like things that she's probably never even heard of, and she's looking confused, like, what is he even saying? And then he looks to his side and it's like, did I say it right? And lo and behold, he's being coached or fed all of this stuff by none other than Teacher 8 of the Year, Ashley. And she's just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't even deal with this right now, and slams the computer shut. And that was the end of the episode, y'all. I love this show. We only got a couple more episodes left. What am I gonna do when, you know, they're off the air and working on season 3? I'm happy that they're having a season 3, y'all. But I guess I'll just be watching reruns, because I missed the show and they was off for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, when y'all gonna come back? But again, another great episode. Y'all remember to walk in y'all greatness, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.